Hi guys, and welcome back to another ITH podcast. Tim and I are back again, and we are in the BOTB offices. Now, if you don't know about BOTB have kindly sponsored this podcast. BOTB are the dream car competition company. If you don't know anything about them, go and check out the link in the description below. They give away a car every single week. And it's my job, weirdly, on a Tuesday to go out and surprise them, which is a job that I never thought I'd get. And more about that in the podcast that we did about Tim and I getting our dream jobs. But today, we are joined by Daryl Pearce. Now, Daryl runs, or you're the director of EV Hire. Yeah. Now, Daryl, we wanted to have a chat with you today, mainly because we've spoken to finance companies about buying cars. We've spoken to YouTubers about how they finance cars. And you, I think, have already lent some of your cars to YouTubers. We've had some of your cars as well. So you run basically it's a hire company, right?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. And EV Hire stands for what?
It used to stand for electric vehicle hire, but we've changed it now to exotic vehicle hire. So we've, from our humble beginnings of purely electric, we've branched out into all sorts of different divisions. But now it's exotic vehicle hire is what we're going with.
Okay, so when you first started, well, I suppose let's ask a question. Why vehicle rental?
Why vehicle rental? Yeah. Why would anyone get into vehicle rental? I guess it all started with my fascination with Tesla, actually. I'm a massive petrol head, always have been. But Tesla came along with this offering and I was just watching them for a few years, and I really wanted to get hold of one. And I thought, how can I do that, but actually make it pay for itself at the same time? So I kind of fell into it, really. It wasn't something I wasn't always... My dream wasn't to be a director of a car hire company. That wasn't where it started. I just fell into it. So we got hold of a couple of Teslas and put them out on hire. We really looked at the car hire industry, first of all, see what the competition was like, and really thought, how could we do it better? That was really our... Obviously, we're not compete with the big boys just yet, but in my segment of, I think, boutique car hire companies, we looked at how can it be improved on, how can the customer experience be improved on. So we spent a bit of time focusing on that, really.
Okay. And what did you find with other rental companies? What were they doing wrong that you wanted to change?
Well, I said they're doing it wrong as such, but a lot of them, compared to the big boys, when you go to book a car and you look on their websites, it was really just a contact us form. You fill out the form.
Always used to annoy me that.
Yeah.
Because occasionally we'd need to get hold of a car for BOTB for something, for a surprise or whatever, or for wanting to do one for a video or whatever. And you'd go, I want to get hold of a Huracan, and you go, right, I'm just going to go to their site. And you go, right, how much do you charge? Email us. Nope.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. You don't know if the car's available. You don't know how much it is. You don't know. Yeah.
But so you could go through all these steps of trying to find these, and saying, oh yeah, it is available. But then you find a price, or you can't find a price and find it's available at the same time. I found it very frustrating.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating. I think when you want to, it's often a sort of flippant decision anyway. You decided you want a Huracan, you want a G63, but you want it tomorrow. So we spent a bit of time developing a platform to compete with the big boys, I suppose, but to really lead that little segment that we're in, where you can see live availability, you can book it within 2 or 3 minutes. You can then you have an online account where you then upload all your driving license information. You can do it all through your iPhone, take a photo of your driving license, and really you get confirmation within sort of 10, 15 minutes. And it's
so ease of use is just...
That was kind of my main focus before we did anything else. If we wanted to sort of make some headway into this new marketplace, that was really the main focus of getting going.
Did you have any expertise in this field before you started the business?
None at all.
No.
I jumped into the deep end with this. It's a fairly easy, simple business to run, if I'm honest. I think that there's lots of pitfalls to it, which from the outset we were very clear that we wanted to avoid. Being very, very careful who you rent to is a big part of it. So our checks are sort of very stringent to make sure that the right person isn't in the car, because these are fairly special cars we rent out. We don't want anyone just driving them. They have to meet a certain criteria. That's also set by insurers as well, so we have to follow their guidelines. But yeah, no real expertise in it, to be honest.
What were you doing before you decided to do this?
So before I used to run a recruitment company for a few years, like a headhunting firm in the construction game. We dabbled in property for a little bit, and really, I got really bored of recruitment. I'll be honest, I hated it. So I thought I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. And I've always had a passion for cars. So I thought this could be, when it doesn't feel like work, then I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that before, isn't it? If you wake up and you want to go to work, you're in the right job.
Exactly, yeah. So that's what I went on a little sort of soul-searching mission for a year. So what can I do? And I've always gravitated towards cars, supercars. I mean, who doesn't? Everyone loves that. But finding a way of actually being able to occasionally drive these cars, but commercially make it work as well.
Yeah.
Was we sort of stumbled on the car.
So what was the first car that you put on the fleet?
So we bought two at the same time, which was Tesla Model S P100D, which you guys had.
Yeah,
Absolutely
quick beast.
Really quick. And a Model X P100D.
Which I had.
Which you had, yeah. Both ludicrous upgrades. So what we also sort of, as a sort of a mission statement that we created at the beginning, was to always have the best in each category. So with Tesla, there are other car hire companies out there which have the standard Teslas. Won't mention any names. But we didn't want to compete with them. We thought, well, let's just go straight into the performance Teslas. And that worked for us. Because my theory was, if you're going to want to experience Tesla, when we first started out, you would want to experience the top one on offer. You know, that's what people want, and it turned out to be fairly true. And yeah, the experience of as you guys know, the experience of the P100Ds is like nothing else I can really describe.
They are a unique experience. Even with the other rivals coming out, there's nothing that can touch what it feels like when you that very first time you put your foot down in a P100D
it's mad.
of any shape.
Pedal.
It's mad.
It makes you feel sick.
Yeah.
It actually does make you feel sick the first time you do it when if you're not really expecting it. It's outstanding.
Yeah.
Well done, Elon.
Yeah. And I reckon we've sold quite a few Teslas off the back of it, because most of we don't get commission or anything like that, but I know personally that people who have, because most of our customers were people, I'd say 95% were people who wanted to buy one, but they wanted more than a 20-minute test drive.
Yeah.
Because it is a change.
And as you've just said, it's a lifestyle change as well as just buying a new car. You know, you're not buying a new car; you're buying into this electric revolution. Which great podcast on, by the way, with CEO of PodPoint. You should go and check out if you want to know more about electric cars. But you're right; it's not just something that you can take for a 20-minute trip and go, oh yeah, it's really quick. You want to know, well, is the cable long enough to plug into my house?
How do you charge it?
How do you charge it? Yeah, exactly.
How does it work day to day for you? And a lot of questions are answered by hiring it. So a lot of the time, people were so impressed with it, they ended up buying one anyway. So we're pleased to be involved in that process somewhat. But yeah, that's how it all started.
Yeah, and your Teslas they were fully loaded as well, weren't they?
Fully loaded.
The Model X that I had for a video is amazing. It was white with this pristine white interior. Everything on the interior was white, and it had like carbon inside it. Yeah, absolutely stunning.
We spec them out. Yeah, fully.
I think the only thing that they didn't have, neither of them have the 22-inch turbine wheels, which look amazing, but I'm guessing on a rental car aren't very clever.
Again, that was on purpose. Yeah. We are regularly repairing alloy wheels, especially on the Model S being so wide. I mean, I'd say 7 out of 10 rentals come back with a damaged alloy. I mean, this is the way it is.
People are just not used to.
They're not used to it.
That wide.
It happens. It's we don't blame them. These things happen. They're easily repaired. It's not a big deal for us. But yeah, we went for the the smaller wheels on that one. I think it was a sensible choice.
Yeah, in fact, on the PodPoint one, Eric, the CEO of PodPoint, said he's got a Model X P100D, as his wife drives it a lot, and he made sure he got the 22s because he's a car guy, but he had to get the silver ones, not the graphite ones, because he knew they would be repaired quite a lot.
Frequently, yeah. It happens, so yeah.
Because it's massive.
So
anyway.
you started the business, you obviously bought this the two Teslas. What was the next step for you? How do you kind of get the name out there?
So the next step was, we spent a lot of time on the website, as I mentioned. We spent a lot of time on SEO, getting the site fairly well seen on Google. If you type in Tesla hire or P100D hire, you should see us up the top there somewhere at the moment. So that's working out quite well for us. PR-wise, we as you know, working with yourselves, a strategy for us was to work with existing influencers who had an audience, because we didn't have an audience. We were a new company out of nowhere. So working with guys like yourselves, other YouTubers, really springboarded us.
This is a dangerous question for me to ask, but has it worked?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So people now kind of understand what you do and how easy it is to book cars and stuff through the fact that you've been working with influencers and
it's been like a steady curve upwards. I mean, it gets busier and busier every month, which is to be expected. You get the odd quiet month. The nature of the car hire business is such where one week it's completely dead. You don't know what's going on, and then the other week you haven't got enough cars. It just really goes up and down every week, but it's working. We're really pleased the way it's gone, and I think the strategy of getting the name out there with people like yourselves, other good YouTubers that we work with, has been really helpful.
Well, the first I heard of you guys from the Shmee 150 video.
Yeah.
Tim was the first one, I think.
Tim was actually our first one we worked with. He took the P100D. Great video for us. That got us a name out there straight away. And that's how, in fact, we got in touch with yourselves. Yeah. That's how it started. So, it was
embraced the social media revolution.
Yeah. So we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook.
So, so we've got the company, we've got the cars, we've got you kind of, spearing it all. And then you made a bit of a change. You went from EV hire, being electrical vehicle hire, to now it standing for exotic vehicle hire.
Yeah. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I'm a petrol head really through and through. As much as I can see the future being electric, I took the decision because I was enjoying it so much and I wanted to get to experience all these other types of cars, to rebrand as such. So the name EV Hire is still EV Hire. I didn't want to change it because it would undo all the work we'd done for the previous year. So we've decided to call it Exotic Vehicle Hire. Still kind of works.
Yeah.
Some people don't quite understand it. They think, you should change the name. Why are you in a Hurricane and it says EV Hire? I have to explain to them it's Exotic Vehicle Hire. That's what it means. But yeah, we took the step to keep electric because that will always be, in my eyes, the future. And that's the way it is going. There's no doubt about that. And I see that as a big growth division still for us. But we then went into performance, prestige, and 4x4. They're the other three divisions. So it's if you go onto the website, you can see there's 4 clear divisions now to the company. All equally as busy as each other. But really, I didn't want to just focus on electric. I wanted to offer these other great cars that we've got to the masses as best as I could.
And with that then, some of the cars that you have on the website, you've got a lot on there now. Considering you started with just the 2, you've now got, Ferrari, Lamborghini. You've got an amazing G-Wagon, the new G63, which I've driven, and it is absolutely bonkers.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and for the price that you're putting that on for a day, I think everyone should just go and experience it. It's an absolute weapon of a car. I absolutely love it, as you can probably tell from how much I'm ranting about it. Is there plans to expand even more, or in terms of more vehicles, or cheaper prices, or what's the kind of what do you go for now?
So the key differentiator that I'm trying to establish is what vehicles we have. and I always want to have the newest and the best is what I'm trying to do. So we've got, as you've probably seen the video with Supercars London, Paul Wallace, we spec'd out an Urus, so that's coming next year, sooner than some people may realise, but it's coming. And I think I will be the only EVR will be the only company with an Urus for now,
cool,
on a rental basis.
Nice.
So it should be quite busy, but it's that kind of thinking that as long as we're the only ones doing it, we should always be busy. So that's kind of our process. Same with the new G63. I think we're the only one with a new one still at the moment that is available for rent. Hence why it's so busy.
Yeah,
that will change obviously as everyone else wants to get hold of one. But yeah, we will be growing the fleet. Not too quickly, because we try and grow organically. That's how we're trying to expand, is to make sure that we buy the right car, make sure that car's profitable and it's actually earning money for the business before we then dive into the next car, and slowly just one by one start to add them.
You mentioned earlier requirements to be able to hire cars.
Yeah.
What kind of, are we talking age restrictions? Are we talking points on license? What are the requirements to come and hire a car from you?
It varies from car to car on age. So Teslas are 25 plus. All the other cars are 28. So any supercars 28 and over. I'd always be a bit wary if you ever see a rental company that says you can have a Lamborghini Huracan and you're 21. Just I'm not going to mention names, but just double check. You read the small fine print on that one.
Yeah.
Because
is it more down to the insurers that just wouldn't insure?
Yeah. Any reputable insurance car hire company, if they've got the correct comprehensive insurance like we do, you won't be able to hire a Huracan under the age of 28. That's kind of how it works.
I still think 28 is still even quite young to be able to jump in a Huracan.
It's a hell of a car to be in charge of. So there's the age requirement.
Yep.
28. You no more than 6 points on your license. No accidents for the last 2 years, and you have to have had a license for 5 years. So at least 5 years driving experience. We've had guys come along who they're 28 years old, but they only got their license at 27.
Right.
We can't insure them. We just can't do as much as we'd like to.
Yeah.
They need to have had 5 years of driving experience behind them. And that's it, really. We do a check. When you do, throughout the booking process, you have an option you put in a DVLA check code, which you're probably familiar with. Mm-hmm. So we can see your license, or you share the information with us, see how many points you've got.
And overseas customers, how does that work?
Yeah, they're fine. We have to go through another level of approval for them, so where we actually go to our insurers and say, this chap's from America, for example, who has an international driving license, and we get them approved. It's always fine. Okay. But we do have to go through that extra level of checks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We also obviously verify passport,
yeah,
utility bills, just to verify and cross-check with the driving license.
Okay, so you tick all the boxes.
Yeah.
You want, let's say, the new G63. You book it online. What happens then?
So once it's booked, we do the checks. You get once we approve it our end, you get an approval confirmation email, and then we deliver it to you. Simple as that.
Oh, you actually deliver it? Come and deliver the car?
Yeah, we deliver it to you. So we offer a free delivery within 50 miles of our South London headquarters. So that covers pretty much all of London.
Yeah.
We deliver nationwide, but there is a rate per
mile over the 50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've kind of worked out rates for different towns, where you can see on our website there's like a tariff page.
Okay.
But yeah, we deliver it to you. Come to your house. We've recently acquired a new trailer. I don't know if you've seen it on
I saw that. Yeah, you've got a massive. Is it Brian James covered?
Yeah, so we just got a race
cool.
transporter 6. It's called a
Ooh,
massive
very
thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's feels like it's 50-foot long thing, but it's.
Would the G-Wagon fit in it though?
We haven't tried it. That's the one, because we ordered that. We ordered the trailer before we bought the G-Wagon.
Oh, right, okay.
So hopefully it'll fit. We don't know.
G-Wagon's very tall, isn't it?
It is quite tall, yeah.
And you can't lower the G-Wagon. There's no. You can't raise the suspension.
Like with the the Teslas and Range Rovers and stuff, you can obviously slam them down on the.
Yeah.
Slam them. But yeah, the G-Wagon is just I'm big, deal with it.
Yeah. Well, every time I stand next to it, you just look up at it and it just keeps going. And I don't think pictures do it any justice. Like, I've put a picture on my Instagram lately, actually, just of kind of how big your car is. It is huge. It's absolutely huge.
It's a tank.
It is a tank, yeah.
I haven't driven it yet. I haven't driven it, so
Pirate,
I'm going to.
That's the whole
I think I'm
point,
going to have
pirate.
to remedy that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone has
I'll
said
send you
how
a discount
amazing.
code.
There you go. So with that, then you come and deliver the car. You've got the car, drive it for however long you've booked it for. Let's just say if I nick a wheel or scuff a bit of paint on it or something.
Happens.
What happens then?
So before you take the car, we pre-authorise an amount. So for the Teslas, it's £3,000, and for the Supercars, it's £5,000. It's not a deposit. Some companies physically take a deposit.
Right.
We don't do that.
So the money doesn't come out of your account. It just basically checks that it's there.
Same as like when you book into a hotel,
right?
And they pre-authorise an amount. Should you come back at midnight and go through the minibar?
Yeah. Which none of us have ever done.
That. So it's the same principle as that. So if there was ever like a little wheel scuff or anything like that, or a little paint damage, we have preset prices for the wheels. So it's normally about £100 a wheel to get it resprayed. And all that would happen is, when we drop the car to you, we use this app which we've developed through another third-party company, where you take pictures and it time-stamps it, geo-stamps it.
Oh, cool.
You can mark on there where the existing damage is. So that's kind of the handover process.
Right.
On the way back in, when we come to collect the car, we do the same. We just check the photo against the car. And if there's any new damage, if it's fairly decent damage, we would go and get a quote to get it repaired. We pass that quote on to the customer and say this is what it's going to cost, and we deduct it from the excess from the pre-authorization.
So it's a pretty painless thing.
Fairly easy. We don't.
I think it just every time I've ever hired a car, the last thing on your mind is like, oh God, the only thing on your mind, should I say, is what happens if I have an accident or whatever.
Yeah. So a lot of people are worried that, there's a little tiny scuff there that will only actually cost a couple £100 to repair, but the rental company's going to charge you £5,000 to repair. That's very short-term thinking. That's not our model at all. Our interest is repeat customers. So we want to always keep coming back.
Yeah.
We don't want to make money out of repairs. We're not a repair company. We're a rental company. So any repairs that needed are done at cost, as cheap as possibly we can do it. And this seems to work very well for us. Customers are happy with it. It's mainly the wheels. That happens a lot. We're doing that an awful lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get press cars, as people have hopefully seen in the videos. Go and check them out. But I get loads of press cars and stuff, and I'm always so paranoid about like dinging the wheels or anything on these cars. And it just happened last week. I had the Honda Civic Type R and was going around a big bend. Lorry came around this left-hand bend on the wrong side of the road, so I had to jump up a curb and absolutely smacked the back left wheel. And I mean, it was gouged. And you feel terrible, but these things happen.
Yeah.
Things happen, accidents happen, and you can't stress about it too much.
It happens. It's part of it. Well, as a rental company, we have to expect it. We don't get emotionally attached to these cars. We can't, because accidents happen. And the amount these cars are on the road, it's going to happen. We've had a few dings here and there. Touch wood, nothing major at the moment, but it happens.
I just wanted to touch quickly, because you've got this great array of cars that you've got on the website. Do you how do you purchase the cars as a company?
So they're owned by us, but they're financed.
Okay.
So we finance all of them. Like a hire purchase. They're not leased or anything like that, because when you lease a car, you can't actually rent them out. Yeah. So they are owned by us, but they're financed, which works for us. We never keep a car longer than 18 months maybe.
Okay.
We don't want to put more than sort of 10,000 miles on the car. And we're constantly refreshing it, so we've always got the best, newest model available. And the finance model works well for us. It enables us to, because there's not an infinite pot of money to be spent here, but we can stretch that out over as large a fleet as we can. But it works well for us.
Great.
I mean, you mentioned earlier, saying again what you just said about you've got the Urus on order.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I suppose you might want to keep things slightly under the covers as to what you've got on order. How about what would you like to see on your fleet? That's an easy way of saying.
Yeah.
I like the way you put that, Tim.
Yeah.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah, so, well, obviously, we know the Urus is coming. Going back to the electric division, we're very interested in the Porsche Taycan at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think that's going to be a very interesting one. I'm not sure many rental firms will get hold of one, but we're interested in having it. Porsche is a funny one. As much as I love the brand Porsche, they're not that popular on the rental side.
Okay.
And you'll see that on other rental firms. There's not a huge amount of Porsches available, which is strange. And it all comes down to branding. The actual brand of the company is so important with what people want to rent, which is a bit of an eye-opener for us, actually, because I would have thought, right, 911, that's going to do really well.
Yeah.
But they don't actually do that well. They're not. If you were to put a Lamborghini Huracan next to just a 911, the Huracan will be out far more.
Oh, I bet. It's more of a statement car, isn't it? Which, if you're going to hire a vehicle, I think that's what you want, is a statement. You want to, I don't know, drive your daughter to her prom or something in a Lamborghini. So
that's it. It's the statement. It's the 24 hours that you've got it.
Exactly.
You want the most outrageous thing possible.
I want to touch quickly on, I suppose, how EV hire is going forward, and I suppose other plans you might have around the business, because you told me something very interesting just before we started the podcast about a venture that you're going into.
Yeah. So as a sort of we haven't announced it yet, but I mean, I guess
are we announcing it now?
I guess we're announcing it now.
Oh, no, exclusive.
Exclusive.
Get that in the title.
There you go. Yeah.
Exclusive. So we've got a sort of sideline venture, which is going to go sort of hand in hand with EV hire, which is called Pearce Protect, and we are PPF installers. PPF, wrap, and detailing, essentially the three segments. We're XPEL accredited. We've got a unit in Croydon.
And are you taking orders pretty much now?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the site will be live in the next week, and we're pretty much ready to go.
Cool.
So
that's exciting.
Yeah. So PPF, give us a call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know. Have you got anything else you'd like to ask before we wrap up?
No. Well, I was going to ask, just going back to the earlier question as well. I mean, how high are you going to go? Is something like the Urus and the Huracan things, they look kind of maxed out at about 200k, don't they? Those sort of cars.
Yeah.
Are you going higher? We're going to see a Aventador SVJ in there.
Yeah.
Aston DBS. I'm just seeing if we can get cars I can just get hold of.
That's all I want.
As we grow, I'd like to think so. Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
They're less popular, I'd say, because what we'd have to charge for them per day would be a lot greater, just purely because of the value of them.
Yeah.
So it's finding that sort of sweet spot where the cars are premium enough, but not as expensive, where you have to charge ridiculous rental rates for them. Because the higher the rental rate, the less frequent the car will be out. So where we're sort of touching on the new G63, the Huracan range, sort of everything sort of sub 200,000 is kind of, I think there's the sweet spot. If you start getting to the 300,000, 400,000 pound mark, you're limiting, I think, your market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you get more for it, but I think they'd be out less often.
Yeah.
And you're paying a lot more to insure it, so the costs go up as well. So maybe as we grow,
something like a McLaren 720S, maybe.
Yeah,
because that's a quite a unique car, and it's very, very usable. You could use that and think like a Huracan. You can drive a Huracan daily and use it for a week if you needed to.
Yeah.
You could do it with a McLaren. You just got to worry about reliability.
Yeah. I suppose just bigger and better.
Bigger and better. Depreciation is a big factor.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So that's a big consideration for us. Is again not just finding the best car, but trying to find the car which will depreciate as slowly as possible for the duration that we own it. You could make them fall into the trap of buying a car that might be the newest car out and it's great, but you keep it a year and it's dropped 100 grand in value, and you haven't made any money at all. So commercially, it's a poor decision, even though it looks good on the fleet. So you have to really select what car you go for, which is
it's not just the cars you want to own.
It's not the cars you want.
There's a lot
to
of
drive.
business decisions involved.
You have to kind of think always what's going to depreciate the slowest, and that's.
Sure.
So we found that out really with the Model S. So the first car we bought was the Model S P100D. We bought that new, and that wasn't great depreciation-wise for the time we had it. And it wasn't that popular on a rental, ironically, compared to the Model X, which...
Again, more of a statement car, cool wing,
yeah, the doors go up.
Yeah.
So there's certain cars which rent better than others, and that's the decision we have to...
Well, good news is the G63 is currently selling for more than list, so you've already got a car that is worth more than what you bought it for, so that's good. Yeah, that is a safe bet. I think we'll pretty much wrap that up there. Thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure.
It's been really interesting kind of knowing how EV Hire as a brand works and all the other bits you're going to do, especially with Pearce Protect as well. I'm looking forward to seeing the cars
watch
that are
out for
going to be wrapped
it.
out.
We're doing lots of shout-outs about that.
Absolutely, yeah. And guys, do please check out botb.com as well, the car competition company, giving away cars every single week. They've also got lifestyle competition as well, so watches, motorbikes. We gave away, actually, this week just gone, a fantastic Indian motorcycle.
Nice.
Now I've just passed my motorbike test. I'm very much into bikes currently.
Right,
So
nice.
yeah, it looked seriously sexy bit of kit. So please do go and check out botb.com. Tim and I will be back with another podcast very soon. Thanks again for listening/watching.
Yes,
Cheers,
thanks
guys.
very much.